AskReddit. What everyday skill becomes suspicious if you're too good at it? A couple of years ago I locked my keys in my car in a Walmart parking lot. I went in and asked if they could help me. Two employees came out with a Jimmy. The one guy made a bet with the other that he could unlock my car in under a minute. He then proceeded to unlock my car in 15 seconds. I told him thanks, you must have a lot of practice. To which he laughed and walked away. Recognizing faces. I was approaching the check-in counter of a hotel I didn't remember being in before when the desk clerk welcomed me by name. I was visibly startled. His coworker explained he's got a freakish memory. I checked later I had been there 3 years before. In his job, with the thousands of faces he sees a year, that is a little disturbing. Being calm. People accuse you of being cold if you are not as agitated as they are. Same here, and the more stressful the situation, the calmer I get. Makes people wary. Knowing where people keep items on their person. Friend will be looking for his keys or phone and I'll know what jacket pocket he left it in. I once had a neighbor catch me while I was taking groceries out of my car and ask if I knew how to open locked doors as they locked themselves out by mistake. Went over to their door, took out a credit card, and shimmied my way in no more than 5 seconds. Probably was bittersweet for them. My boss locked herself out of the shop last week and I did this. We are getting new locks and a security system now. But if you had told her how easy it is a week ago she wouldn't have given a shit. Seeing is believing. Hey, I'd rather know I need to deadbolt my door at night than figure it out another way. My in-laws only use one of those shitty door knob locks instead of their deadbolt, so I make a point of every time I come over I use a credit card to get in instead of my key. They still don't lock the deadbolt. Walking silently. It's always a good skill to have to be able to be quiet in a moment's notice, but do it too well, and you start appearing behind people and freaking them out. How long have you been there? Type things. My so's parents' house has hardwood floors that everyone just stomps around on. I don't like making noise when I walk, so according to them, I sneak around their house and scare them unintentionally sometimes. My wife stomps around the fucking house. I outweigh her by twice, and I'm still able to make it up a hardwood stairs without making any noise. Drives me insane, because the kids are starting to take after her. I get that this is kind of suspicious, but at the same time it is shockingly easy to open a car, if you know how to do it. They keep upping the appearance of security without fixing some of the most basic flaws. Edit. People have been, correctly, noting that it's not just cars but many other kinds of locks as well. This reminds me of a saying that my dad stole from somewhere. Locks are a great way to keep your friends out of your house. Back in my military days I locked my keys in my car and asked one of the other soldiers in my platoon for help. What, you think because I'm black that I know how to boost a car? No, I think that you told me that you used to boost cars. Oh yeah. Genuine kindness. My father was such a good soul and people were suspicious about his kindness sometimes. I had a boss who was pretty much Mr. Rogers. It took a while to get used to it. We still work with each other sometimes, and I still occasionally think he's being a sarcastic ass, when he's definitely not. I don't think it's really an everyday skill, but being able to tell somebody by the sound of their footsteps. When friends or family approach my door I know who's about to knock. I love creeping them out by saying come in, name here. You can tell a lot by the sound of footsteps. Who is it? Are they angry, happy, relaxed, drunk? Are they wearing shoes, heels, barefoot? Though I personally have a habit of tiptoeing everywhere. Remembering things about a person from a few months/years ago when the person herself can't remember about it. You just look like a stalker and it's frustrating. I totally understand. People always think I'm a creep because I remember almost everything about them after meeting, even if we met years before. I was once hitting it off with a girl I knew from high school at a bar. She didn't remember me, and I just knew who she was, like I was aware she existed. So I said, oh, I remember you from high school. and that was apparently the weirdest thing she'd ever heard, and it just killed the mood for her. Sorry, I remember that you existed. I'm such a creep. I was going to Disneyland and I wanted to bring back something for my favorite manager. I asked her who her favorite Disney character was, and she said Dumbo, because she loves elephants. Skip ahead to 10 months later. On my last day at that store, I got her a card with an elephant on it. She looked shocked and asked me how I knew her favorite animal was an elephant. Yet I can barely remember what I eat for breakfast sometimes. Not me, but someone I know once mentioned to me back in their high school days, they were suspected of being a snitch because they would always be inclined to leave right before the bust happened. It wasn't that the guy was a snitch. He'd say that sometimes he just got a feeling, or he knew, when a party was just dead. Some sorta sixth sense for this. Every time he got around to leaving, his buddies would usually follow suit, since they were usually the ones dealing anyways. I can make a sound that is identical to the sound of a vibrating smartphone. It's basically a low hum through very slightly open lips and across your teeth. I used to sit in class and make this sound, and people would freak out and check their backpacks or purses, and the teacher would get super pissed, since having a phone go off repeatedly is distracting. I learned from the best, a tight, tan dominatrix down on 5th. Jackie, she never wanted me to escape, but why would I? Burn me with that wax domina. Hit me with that whip domina. Safe word was onion. There wasn't anything I wasn't willing to do for her when she had me wrapped up like Christmas present. One night, a client turned the fun on her. I found him, of course. Made some knots of my own. Gave him some knots of his own. He does not have hands anymore. He does not have eyes anymore. Guess he didn't know the safe word. I look at license plates. I don't know why, but it's every day for me. But for some reason I pretty much had the license plate of the girl I liked memorized. It was easy to remember, and we worked the same place together every day, so I saw it at. One time I almost slipped and said, "Hey, where are you driving out in today?" and almost mentioned that the truck's license plate looked just like hers. Every woman, especially moms, should have some ability here, but be able to help someone cleaning up after an accident or injury and get the surprised looks and side eyes. Hub is in the Edgar branch of the US military. Within a month of married, his whole shop was bringing bloodied uniforms to our house. Fuck touch football and kitchen accidents read fuckery. But thank God for baking soda. I have very fast reading comprehension. People never believe me when I say that I've already read it and get frustrated that I don't take longer. I can't do simple math, but I read like lightning. I'm also very good with card handling, so everyone suspects that I cheat at poker. I encourage that because it keeps their eyes on my hands and not on my face. My mom can speed read like that and it drives me nuts. One morning I gave her a book I had read because I found it interesting, The Wealthy Barber. While we are watching TV, I hardly noticed her glancing at the book, and she proceeds to toss it on the coffee table. Oh, I finished reading it. Holy shit, 25 minutes at most. Given it's a fairly small book, 150 pages, it took me weeks to get around to finishing what she hardly flinched at. Crazy skill. Typing. I'm definitely going to say typing. I type at a little over 150 words per minute. I've been repeatedly accused of faking it, which sounds funny, until it's your co-workers and boss saying it, calling your work into question. Edit. Holy crow. Thanks for my most upvoted comment. To answer a couple questions, I'm a writer. I use a QWERTY keyboard and I've been typing for a minimum of 3 hours a day for the past 16 or so years. My typing speeds have been measured in varying tests for work and school, the lowest coming in at 138 about 4 years ago, and middling out about 6 months ago at 154. The highest I've scored on any reliable test was 157 last year. Typing speeds like mine aren't all that uncommon, certainly not as much as they used to be. Nothing special, I just type a lot. I find it much weirder that people find fast typing unlikely. Due to my job, property management, and me being a flake, Used to lose/forget my keys a lot. I've gotten really good at quickly breaking into houses and apartments. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe my channel. Share your thoughts in comments.